This vertical downward from top to bottom approach can be seen in the Chinese medical texts, many of which have the ideogram JING in their name. The Neijing, the Nanjing, or the Zhenjiujiayijing includes this ideogram. On the other hand, practically the entirety of acupuncture meridians are called Jing Mai. Jing, again. What does Jing mean?
Jing is a basic term in acupuncture. The Jing ideogram can translate as frame, routes drawn from north to south, meridian, constant rule, immutable law, what is fixed, regular, constant, canonical book, or to govern and rule. The character Jing represents vertical lines that, symbolically descending from the sky, organise the body in an analogous way as how the vertical filaments of a loom guide the making of a fabric. This ideogram is part of almost all categories of energy channels, their guidelines being identical for all people. As we will see when speaking about the extraordinary meridians, most categories of meridians have the character Jing because, at different levels, they do transmit the laws of the world to mankind.
So, being Jing, those vertical lines that, like the descending lines of a loom, convey to the concrete, to mankind, the universal laws of the world. Instead of contemplating the meridians, as usually happens, just as if they were energetic roots in the body, where physiological or pathological phenomena resonate, now we can regard them as the guidelines leading the way everything operates in ourselves, from body to mind. Moreover, Chinese medicine conceived human being body as the supreme archetype of all the laws that governs life in the world. I am aware this is a strong statement. From this perspective, the path of each acupuncture meridian, not only where each of the meridians of acupuncture circulate, but even each of the acupuncture points that are part of them, at what level not only the meridian but also the point is exactly located, has symbolic meaning and has to do with the functions that each acupoint governs. Given the case that these functions were not adjusted, by means of the transdermal insertion of a fine metal needle, the man might be tuned with the cosmos, which means that such specific function can be reset. As mentioned, Chinese medicine regards man as the supreme archetype of all functions. In fact, the man is the only living being verticalized between earth and heaven. Let's see how Ling Shu considers the man as being the supreme symbol, the incarnation of all archetypes.
The sky is round. The earth is square. The man has a round head and square feet. This is how they correspond to each other.
We can see how the text equates man's head to heaven, man's feet to earth, thus describing him, in this case, as a physical exponent of both archetypes. This implies that the placement of each meridian in the body is not aleatory. It has a profound significance. What will resonate in the first instance will be determined by the position of the meridian's path. I would now like to comment on a couple of traits that are distinctive of Chinese medicine. The first is their absolute metaphysical ambition. Let's listen to Suen, a classical text where the emperor, Huangdi, inquires his physician, Chipo, who is teaching him acupuncture. I want to hear you unravel the mathematics of the cosmos and that of the human being. His body, his blood, life, and death. I want to know all about it. Look at how we find in a Chinese medical text an aspiration to know everything. Where does life come from? How does everything work? Metaphysically speaking, life comes from the Tao, the origin where everything is potentially contained. The Tao is represented by number 1. I invite you to conceive it like a virtual whole. By expanding the imaginary diameter of such spot, its usual representation, a circle, appears. The Tao is the intelligible, the unapprehensible, the immaterial place where the whole truth and reality of our world's existence comes from. It is the primordial source from which everything springs to life and where everything returns back after death, the same as with Brahma in Indian's traditional culture. And, as it happened with Brahma, such original unity to which we belong not only brings us to life, but also supports our day-to-day living. It is present in every sigh, every heartbeat, through all our binary processes of metabolization, at each binary yin-yang cycle. Our permanent connection to this unity allows us to maintain the essences of who we are within all the changes. The Tao also allows us to be consistent and coherent within ourselves. Moreover, it also keeps us connected to everything that is alive in this world. I am here trying to put the emphasis that without understanding Chinese medicine's metaphysical vocation, we cannot grasp what it is talking about it at all. This contact with the original source, once conceived, allows the individual to remain being himself by keeping his deepest identity despite all his physical and emotional transformations throughout life. To me, one of the beauties of Chinese medicine's perspective of man is that such permanent contact with the origin opens for all of us the possibility of refocusing and regenerating ourselves. Now, I'd like to introduce a basic topic to non-specialists, to the neophytes. For Chinese medicine, the physiological phenomena, not only the physical but also the emotional ones, are due to the flow of qi, the energetic breath that gives life and maintains it. Chinese medicine names it qi. You might all have heard qi being translated as energy. But blow might actually probably be a finer translation of the term. Let's look at an example of the qi flow. When I get angry, my energy goes up. It goes upwards because I have to express my anger in order either to attack or to defend myself. So my qi ascends and spreads outwards, dragging along my blood with its flow. The result is visible. My face gets red and congested. I might heighten my voice or shout. I might even get ready to fight aggressively if needed. In this case, an emotion boosts the flow of qi, but emotion is in fact an expression of such qi flow. People suffering from headaches, derived from an excess of qi reaching the head, often become irritable, and is a reaction that is ascribed to pain. But Chinese medicine considers that when this irritability is due to the raising of qi, it is just another expression of the violent flow of qi upwards. On the opposite pole, when the qi descends sharply, the emotion is fear. But fear can also generate such kind of demise of qi downwards. While feeling afraid, people do not turn red and inflamed, but pale. Their qi doesn't expand, it shunts and sinks. Actually, qi could descend as much as forcing stools or urine incontinence due to panic. This is the reason why it is so important to contemplate all the phenomena resonating in the acupuncture points, not only from a physical, but also from an emotional point of view. And the conjunction of both physical and emotional symptoms gives us the clue to deduct the possible key point, the sole acupoint to be stimulated in order to restore one specific and balanced function. And lastly, I'd like to remind you that moods in people are like seasons of the year. There are times to be angry and moments to be sad, moments for introspection and times for stillness. Healthy people go through many different moods, but these are neither uncontrolled nor permanent in them. To me, a healthy person is the one able to pivot and contain all their moods without getting caught by any of them.